Hey, what's up, guys? This is the Killer Jin, Freddy. Today, I'm just gonna go over the horror game that I created using pencil code. Um, Here it is. I started working on it in class today with my middle school students, and unfortunately, I was unable to finish it. But I came home and I finished it, and I just want to share with them what I created. Again, in this video, you can pause it and obviously copy the code and tweak it and change it. And that's what I welcome my students to do. They obviously can take my code and change it up, make it their own, learn how it works. So basically, I'm just gonna go over it now. Um, so again, I taught them about comments today. How these hashtags are comments to the computer. They don't actually run this as code. It's just comments so that we can understand what's going on. If you notice, I'm sure they noticed, I use a lot of comments now, so that it's easier to tell and separate the code. And I told them once the code gets a lot bigger, well, with the comments is up to 284 lines of code, that obviously you want to use comments to start like organizing your code so it's easier to read, not only for yourself but for others. Um, and here we go. I just made a little horror game using pencil code, a little choose your own adventure. At the moment, it has no graphics, but the next step would be to create a little graphics so that you can get a little visual going on like Resident Evil style. Like I said, in the next video you'll see it. So let's go. We'll start from the beginning. I just put my name up here. Um, these are my global variables. Found the sword, because there's a sword in the game, a key in the game. There's one enemy, and there's a locked door. And right here, if you're wondering that is, this is how I keep track of where you are in the game, like what room you're in. Well, I guess I'll hit play real quick so you guys can see. The buttons are right here. You are being chased through the woods by a pack of zombies. You stumble upon a dark, lonely mansion. Keep running past the mansion, perhaps there's something else, or run towards the dark, decrepit mansion. It's obviously choose your own adventure. Your inventory is empty. You can search the current area. I don't want to in a way, I don't want to spoil the game, because you can run towards the mansion. You're in the lobby. There's a staircase in front of you, a door to your left and a door to your right. You can go up the stairs and go to left into the room, go right, go into the room to the right, or try to leave through the main door. Go in the room to the left, go to the room to the right. Well, we can obviously fix that. I don't know, go to, I guess sounds a little better. Here you go, searching through the code. We're gonna go over all this. Let's see, go in the room. Go to, whatever. I'll save it. Anyways, here are my button functions. If you notice, there's buttons up here. So how I do it is, if you look in the intro, I do intro. This is the main. Oh well, it goes global variables. Then it goes button functions, and then I have two buttons at all times. That's usually always displayed in every room. You have your inventory in your search area. So I have my functions for these buttons. I have the display inventory, and that's kind of small. But then I have the search function, which is a little bit larger. It's a little bit more interactive, and you'll see as you go on. I'm sure if you read some of these dialogue things, you'll see that there's some interesting happenings in the code. But again, this is the inventory button when you press it, and even though, like I said, it's in many scenes, it's only written once. I was teaching my students that you write code only one time. You don't copy and paste it over and over again. And this is, again, the search function. And it's down to here. So the search function is a lot larger than the inventory. So here. Anyways, and then I have the main game functions here under the button functions. and it goes all the way down to about here. Then I separate it into smaller, like one-time only functions. And then after that, I have the main, basically, very short. This is where the restart, start, and end of the game is. The reason why I had to put the in pencil code. I don't have lots of experience, but it looks like I have to put the start of the game at the bottom and not the beginning, because if I do it in the beginning, the game will the computer actually will complain that it doesn't know what the other functions are because it didn't actually get that low into the code. So it kind of seems like you have to put the start at the bottom, nearly at the bottom. So that's why I did here anyways. I mean, it's kind of follows the same structure of what I do in Java, so not a big deal. But basically, these are all functions, so just ignore, well, the code actually does this, and then these are all functions, so skip, 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 skips. There's nothing really to do because they're all in function. Like hello, that's a function, and this is a function, so there's nothing for it to do until it sees this line of code. And it says do intro. So that's the very first thing it does, is start the game, do intro. And this is called whenever you die. And this is called at the very end if you actually finish the tiny little horror game that I created. So you want to do the intro. So it jumps all the way up to, of course, not the button functions and not the search function, but we go to the main game functions. So that's it, the game intro here. This is the game intro. So it goes intro, do clear screen, and set up the button. See this exactly. Every time I want buttons to show up, this is what I do. I write buttons so that you can actually see. Without the button thing, it's kind of hard to notice the buttons. Room ID, the intro is room 0. It starts at 0, like computers do. It creates a inventory button and says if you actually press the button, it's going to go to inventory. It creates the search area button. If you press that, it'll actually do the search. Then I write you are being chased through the woods by a pack of zombies, blah blah blah. And then this is the menu that gets created. You can keep running. And if I hit, I don't know how to redo this one. Oh, here we go. Keep running past the mansion, or run towards the dark, decrepit. Keep running past the mansion, like I guess continue in the woods, or run towards the mansion. So this is it right here, and I gone over how it works. It looks a little ugly because of that. It's supposed to look like this. It looks a little nicer. You know, it looks a little bit better spaced. I probably should have done that in the beginning. So we have this. We have the button functions here. Again, this is the inventory. You can pause it and copy it. This is search. You can pause it and copy it, and then it goes down to basically here. And then this is the intro. And again, this is what I write after I do the button setup. And this is the menu. And again, it's the dialogue and then where the computer is told to go. If you keep running past the mansion, perhaps there's something else. If you click on that, it's going to go to the run function. If you run towards the dark decrepit mansion, it's going to go to the main. It basically stands for like the main room. So let's say we go to run. If you hit run, then it's actually a small function, run. It clears the screen and writes, unfortunately, there was nothing else for you. You get tired. Perhaps you should have worked out more. The zombies catch up to you and do the things zombies do, or do the zombie thing with your head. Game over. Then it jumps to game over. And then game over, you die, try again. So let's just try that real quick. The very beginning, I decide, not to run towards the mansion, but to keep running. Unfortunately, there's nothing else for you. You get tired. Perhaps you should have worked out more. The zombies catch up to you and do the zombie thing with your head. You died. Try again. And you try again. That's obviously not what you're supposed to do. If you actually hit inventory, the game will say your inventory is empty. You have nothing. And of course, you're being chased through the woods by a pack of zombies. You're like, oh, okay, let me search the area. While you're searching, good call, by the way, The zombies have caught up to you. Brains are yummy. You died. Try again. So yeah, you're not supposed to search the area. You can, I guess, check your inventory, but you're supposed to run towards the mansion. That kind of gets you, into the lobby. And there's a staircase in front of you, a door to your left, and a door to your right. So you can then start choosing where you want to go. And again, I don't want to give everything away. Maybe at the end I'll go through it. I don't know. Kind of, I mean, I'm wondering how many people can actually finish it. Anyways, let me hide this. Stop it, whatever. So, if you want to check it out, I mean, other than that, it's pretty, the intro's here. And then you go to the main room. It all follows the same formula. Clear the screen, put up the buttons, you're in the lobby, and it gives you your options. And then if you hit exit, if you try to exit, it looks like if you try to leave through the main door you just came in, when you first go into the main room, it gives you this message. I kept it up here because it's something you can keep on going back to. And then the room to the left. And then, I'm not gonna read everything. And then there's room to your right, where you meet a skeleton. And again, I guess I'll go over this. So clear screen, put up the buttons, easy. Now there's a skeleton, because you see a skeleton in front of you. It has a sword. However, if you found the sword is true, you can select fight the skeleton or run back to the main room. If you haven't found the sword, it says fight the skeleton or run back to the main room. It seems exactly the same, but if you notice, if you fight the skeleton and you have sword, and you fight the skeleton and no sword, they're definitely two different outcomes. And running back to the main room is the same outcome. Else, the only thing worth noting in this room, and that's if the skeleton is not alive and it's false. Else, that means you destroyed the skeleton. It gives you a go back to the main room. There's actually a lot more to it. You have to play it to find out, but this is if you go to stop at the top of the stairs. This is if you find the door on the second floor, which is locked, and you need a key for it to open it, or else you cannot open it. Again, this is the code. Here, this is the room on the second floor, and I can't speed past it, but you definitely need to get this, code it in, and then try it. And these are the tiny, smaller game functions, like running away. If you have no sword, what happens to you? If you have a sword, what happens to you? Trying the key on the door and saying hello, and again, that's for something later. It kind of stinks that obviously by coding it you might figure out what happens and what to do and what not to do. Actually, I don't know. I mean, it gives you an idea, but I bet you if you play it, you'll be pleasantly surprised. Again, if you copy this code and something goes wrong, that means you probably didn't copy exactly the code, because we know how finicky code is, so it has to be 100% correct or it won't run. And believe me, this all works. And we're at the bottom. I guess the only thing I'll go over, I mean, you can pause this here and copy the code. I mean, only the real thing to go over that's actually maybe a little difficult to understand is, well, it's not difficult, but I mean, you guys, it's all new to you, so it is a little difficult. I know it's hard to initially wrap your head around it, but it's not so bad. It's just practice, really. And of course, view the video, try it out, and write down your questions so you don't forget them. And so when you see me in class, you can ask, and I can answer your questions, and we can learn and we can progress. Anyways, here, these are global variables, and in here you notice is a local variable, because every time you call inventory, I automatically set the count back to 0. And if you have the sword, I put the count up by 1. If you have the key, I set the count by 1. However, if you notice here, and it kind of makes sense, you have the sword, you have a key, but again, here though, if the the code runs and your count is 0, that means your inventory is empty. So it'll say your inventory is empty instead of giving you like nothing. So if by the time the code gets down to this spot and realizes an equals means comparing, it's saying if count actually equals 0, true or false. If you put one equal sign, you're setting count to 0, and that's a totally different thing. Then equals means you're comparing it, and this is going to give it true or false. So if it's 0, if it actually equals 0, if it does, then write this. Else, it would already have probably done something up here anyways, because it'll automatically say something, and the count won't be 0. It'll be like 1 or 2. And then here, the search is actually probably a little bit more complicated, because it does, I do put a lot of hilarious things. If you notice in the beginning, like if you hit search even though you're being chased, it's a bad time to search. So you can get an idea of the other things. And again, each room has its own ID. See, the room 0 is actually outside. And if you hit search, you are searching, and it actually did that already. You're searching outside, and that's when the zombies are chasing you in the intro. So while you're searching, the zombies cut up to you, and brains are yummy. And game over. Or main room search, and then room 2. See, if room ID equals 1, is comparing it. Then write this, and again, this is a comparison thing, just like the count. If room is 2, you find a sword. Else, you found the sword already. This makes it so that you can't keep finding the sword or have multiple versions of it, or it giving you an message, you found the sword, and you search again, it says you found the sword. That kind of would be silly. So once you find it and then you hit search again, it knows. See, if found sword, initially it'll be false, so it'll jump to here. Else, automatically execute the else clause, because if this doesn't work, automatically execute this. It says found sword is true, so you have found a sword. So if you hit search again, this now will be true, so it says nothing left to find. So you can only find the sword once, and then if you hit the search button again in the same room, it'll say nothing left to find in this room. Therefore, it will never keep on saying you found the sword, you found the sword, you found the sword. And then again, the rest of it then just follows the same kind of thing. And I don't want to ruin it, but of course you can pause it, and everything else is pretty self-explanatory. And that's about it. Oh, and again, just a note, if you notice, so in these button setups, again, I keep track of your location through room ID. If you notice the intro, the room ID is 0. In the main hall, I changed the room ID to 1. So yes, you can actually walk back and forth in this game. And then you notice here, room to the left is room 2. Room to the left is room 3. And if you actually notice though, stairs at the top is 4. And if you're actually at the door at the top of the staircase, because there's only one door though, I still consider it room 4, because you didn't really go anywhere. If you guys notice that, like, why is it the same? That's the reason. I consider it the same room. It gives you the same response, so it's okay. And that's about it, because if you notice too, I won't try to give away like the game, because I want you guys to try it out. But if you run towards the mansion, and then let's say you go up the stairs, you see a door, you can go back down the stairs, and you're back in the lobby. Go up the stairs, or down the stairs. You never know where someone's gonna be. That's why you have to keep track of where they are, and that's how I do it with the room ID. Go to the left, you're in a small bedroom. It has a bed, dresser, and closet. Go back to main room. So you can keep on going back and forth. Go up the stairs, go down. Of course, I'm not getting anywhere because I'm not like doing anything, or searching or anything. But I basically can go back and forth. And I never know, like I said, you never know where the player is at any given moment and what they've done and what they haven't done. That's why I have global variables, and that's why I have the room ID, because every time you actually enter a room, like let's say the main hall, I automatically reset the room number. Oh, sorry, that's the intro. Room number will be back to 1, so I know you're in the main hall, because it clears the screen. First thing it does is clear the screen from the past thing. It sets up the buttons. It sets up the room so I know where I am. And then it gives me a description, and it gives me options. So again, I mean, these are the ideas. I could sit here even longer and fully explain every single line. Um, Again, just play with it. You have questions, let me know. And obviously, some students are a little bit more comfortable and familiar. They are more than welcome to then just change it, update it, expand it. I didn't finish this game. I just wanted this as a tiny example, like I said here. Hopefully this will spur your imagination. A tiny game, a code sample. Can you take this and make it better? Absolutely, I want you to. So anyways, I think that's enough for now. You can obviously pause it at any time, any moment, and get all the code. Um, I guess one more time, I'll do it like fairly slowly, from top to bottom. And again, I fully tested this. I had a few people try it. Some people couldn't beat the game. Some people could. Um, some people could, and some people couldn't. And it's fully tested. There's no bugs that I can find. If you can find some, actually let me know. That'd be awesome. Do some bug testing yourself. And like I said, if you want to expand the game, like where it's heading, and just make it your own, you're more than welcome to. All right. Thank you very much for your time. Hope you learned something.